So how can we fill this image using the paint bucket and the gradient tool? So in the toolbar we have the gradient tool, which we can find right here, and if we right click we can also pull up the paint bucket, and we'll start with that. So I'm going to want to add some color to this, and I'll select red. And the paint bucket is great because we do not need a selection tool, specifically the magic wand. And the way it works is it sort of fills until it hits a wall, and these black lines are, for the purpose of this exercise, going to be considered walls. So I can click right there, and like magic it fills the area. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Z and I'm going to undo what I just did, and we're going to switch over to the gradient tool. So I'm going to right click on the paint bucket, switch to the gradient tool, and the gradient tool is cool because it transitions from one color to another. I'm going to show you just how that works on this blank sort of piece of paper. So I'll pick, I got red and green here, and gradient is selected, and I'm going to click and I'm going to hold down and drag from the upper left hand corner to the lower right. I'm going to let go, and we see we've got this nice smooth transition. Now depending on where you click and drag, it will definitely influence what it ultimately looks like. Now these are nice and smooth because I'm clicking and dragging a great distance, but if I click and just drag it just a tiny bit, you can see that the transition is really stark. It's not smooth at all. So you're going to keep that in mind as you're using this this technique. So I'm going to return to Bambi, and I'm going to get a nice sort of brown and the foreground color, and I'll switch to yellow as the background color. First we need to use the magic wand. We need to create a selection, and I'm going to hold shift so I can select multiple areas. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is return to the gradient tool, and you can press G to pull up the gradient tool. And I'm going to click and drag, and I like that, but if I want to try see what it looks like a little bit, see how it looks maybe a little bit differently, I can try that. And I like that. That looks pretty cool. Now one last recommendation, press F7 to pull up the layers palette. And if you do something that you're not really a big fan of, you want to change, it's best if it's on a separate layer. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to use the gradient tool. I'm going to press Ctrl D to deselect. And now if I want to move it or get rid of it, because it's on its own layer, I can simply drag it to the garbage can and it's gone. Now this technique is really cool. We can add a nice horizon. I'm using the magic wand. Select, hold shift. I'm going to get a nice blue. A nice pink. I'm going to click and drag. And that looks nice. I'm going to press Ctrl D to deselect. Excellent.